technical skills to put this video together in a sensible way so that it'll all
so we
come
can
together.
share it with all
So we
of
can
you.
share it with everyone.
So tell us a little bit about what your life is like these days.
Okay, what is our life like? I think it's a lot the way your life is like right now. It revolves around a camera, everything to do with it. We've been in lockdown, as most of you are, since the last 3 months now. We've not been going out at all, except, I do step out perhaps every 4 days or so to the nearby grocery, store to buy our little supplies.
Which means on the street, where we buy our vegetables.
Usual.
Yeah,
From the very beginning, Narayani and I never stored anything. I don't know why we never felt the need to say, okay, let's just fill our fridge and let's just fill. We don't even have that much space, so we just brought as much as we needed, and then 4 days later we'd go and buy as much as we need, and then 4 days later. So it's been nice that way. Somehow we're trying our best not to allow that consciousness of, oh my goodness, what if energy, and just really enjoying, in fact, as much as we can, the fact that now we get to really, in so many ways, it's like a lot of, not distractions, but just so much has moved that our life has become so much just about giving. And there are so many practical realities are just, okay, there's centers and how we're going to keep it going and being there every day. And a lot of administrative work is just, everything's just reduced to, okay, wake up in the morning and you're just thinking about, I have these programs today, these are the people I have to speak to, these are the counseling sessions we have scheduled, and it's just about that. So it's interesting.
We actually felt forced to act quickly and creatively the moment the lockdown happened.
Yeah.
We really never got tuned into live programs. I mean, we have been 2 years in Mumbai. None of our programs were live.
Wow.
One satsang on Sunday, and that was recorded, that was posted 2 days later. There was a process that suddenly is like the universe told us, you guys need to change, adjust, and fast, and find creative ways to not give in the same amount, but more and larger and bigger. So we had to step out of our comfort zone literally from one day to the next.
Wow.
And come up with new ways, and being conscious that from now on, people who were going to watch these programs were more than just 50, 100, 200 people within the Ananda world. So we had to restructure even our way of sharing and adjust it to a new level, and thinking this is not just for devotees, but this will be perhaps the first interaction that someone who has never heard about Yogananda, Swami Kriyananda, or Ananda, we will be their first kind of contact. So we were a little bit conscious, but in a anyway, in a very fun way.
We had a lot of fun.
We had a lot of fun.
We'd just be like, okay, this week we did this, so next week what should we do? It should be different. And so we've really been trying. We started with, first of all, the whole lockdown thing was, okay, it's only 15 days. So we had our mind like 15 days. What?
Oh my gosh.
No big deal. We can manage 15 days. Then it became a month. Then it became another 15 days. And it's just been 3 months where somehow you've been planning just little by little, because there's this assumption that things are going to start relaxing now. And in Mumbai especially, we're kind of in the most critical area of India.
Cases
So,
every day.
It just doesn't seem like, now they're saying July 31st, but we don't really know where all of this is going. Just before the lockdown,
Which was when?
which was
March
March, somewhere around mid-March.
Okay,
March
same here.
17th,
Wow.
And just before that, Narayani and I had already been thinking, and we as a group here, all our members, we'd been thinking of kind of shifting out of the center, and we're looking for something like a B10 by 8.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we want a huge house with a garden and just build much more of an ashram energy.
Wow, wow.
Good.
You realize, and especially in this close to 2 years that we've been in Mumbai, you're just starting to realize that teaching center doesn't do justice to our path.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
when
yeah,
it's
yeah.
such a mental, it's just like,
Student.
yeah, you're a student, I'm a teacher, and you come only for classes, and then it's like, then you go and, you're out in your own vibration, then you come again a week later or 10 days later for another couple of hours, then you're going, so it's very hard to really share. I mean, talking about the time we spent in Pune, I mean, so much of the teaching was just us spending time together. I mean, there was no, now
Absolutely.
let me tell you about karma. Now I will tell you about discipleship. It's just like us getting to really live together and watch each other and learn from just seeing you and being
Osmosis.
around you and vibrationally. So we're realizing that the center setting just, at least for us, we don't feel, we're making students, but are we, the devotee part
Yeah.
gets
No.
left behind.
It's very technique oriented, and here in India people love techniques and certificates, and the more techniques I have, the more spiritual I am, and that's something that we don't want to keep feeding, because it's not even the essence of our path. In fact, we have understood at a deeper level that our path is a path of discipleship, and we need to focus on those sincere people who want to commit a little bit more, who want to explore this path. Then for those people, they need a completely different setting than just a city center. So
Yeah.
now what's happening, we can provide numbers by the online classes. We
the
can
quantities.
reach thousands, quantity of people and followers and all that. But then when we come to a quality of a devotee, you can only nurture that in an ashram setting, in a place where there are 6, 7, 8 people living together, waking up in the morning and meditating together, having breakfast together, praying before meals, cleaning the altar, doing gardening. It's a lifestyle that the center can't. You can speak about it, and they can see you for half an hour cleaning the altar. It's much more than that. So we are shifting, like almost drastically, how to express the work in Ananda Mumbai.
Very good. Very good.
So we've actually been stepping out to go and see properties in
Wow,
Mumbai.
wow.
Just because, again, we just thought, oh, this lockdown is for 15 days. So we've been postponing this thing. And at the same time, for the last 3 months, we've been paying a lot of rent.
Oh,
That's just shut.
A lot.
wow.
So we're getting to the point where we can't really
Wow.
keep that up, because everybody's hurting a little bit financially. Our owners of the center, they're fabulous people. They have reduced the rent to 50%,
Wow.
which we also want to, because that's now their only source of income, because their businesses are shut. So we want to
Wow.
make sure we support them as well. But we're now at a stage where without classes, without the income that we otherwise get through all of that, everything you do online is practically for free. So now we're only a donation-based reality, and that doesn't always, isn't always enough.
Yeah, the interesting thing is, like, somehow we are not concerned, nor we have ever been since we landed in Mumbai, where the money is going to come from. In fact, for us, it's like a super fun challenge that we are excited to be part. Okay, let's see how we are going to make it. We have no idea, but
Yeah.
let's come up with creative ways to magnetize that source of income.
Wow.
So that consciousness of fear or concern has never been there, not even now. So we know this is a crazy, perhaps, direction we want to follow, but we know it's going to be supported by the Master, by Swamiji, if it's the right thing. So we are coming up with creative ways how to materialize all those things, and it's fun. It's
that's great.
The way of thinking.
Yeah.
And we love that,
And we are so finicky and so particular when these people show us these houses.
Like-
We enter with like, nope, we're not gonna see the rest. We don't. You just know from the very beginning this is not
No.
gonna work.
And
for us.
we have this super limited, short budget, like a ridiculous budget.
Oh.
We went to every bungalow like, oh, this is too low for us.
Can't you show something bigger? Everywhere, perhaps.
And
Oh my God.
like big windows, tall ceilings, chandeliers, like we are like these wealthy people. But there is something that we know for sure, the place, whatever that might be. It doesn't matter how simple it is, but it needs to be beautiful. It needs to also represent outwardly what these teachings are all about. And about Swamiji, he was a perfect example of beauty in everything, in clothes, in the gardens, in the structures, in houses. So because we want to make of this place something so magnetic that people want to be there all the time. Not
Yeah.
only
Yes.
once, but they want to be there.
Yeah. Wow.
That sounds so perfect. So
Great
perfect.
thing. Yeah, the adventure of the zero budget or the minimal budget. It's quintessentially Ananda. We just have to jump in full faith, give it a try.
We tell these agents, because you have to deal with these agents. So when he says, no, sir, that house is beyond your budget, we say, at least show it to us. Maybe the owner, if we tell them we're really spiritual people, they just want to give it to us for free, and the agents are not convinced by that. I think they only want money. That's it. At least let's talk to the owners.
And sometimes I think, what do they think seeing these two kids with such a finicky taste? I don't know. This needs to be that, where are they coming from?
Oh my God.
And we have such we have clarity of what we want.
Yeah.
And we don't want to lower the bar, we want to stick to what our vision is. And then, yes, we'll adjust things around because we also have to be practical. But we have a very clear vision of how the ashram should look like, the kind of rooms more or less that we should have, a gardening area, big living room. So
Yeah.
So pray for us.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, you're on the right track. It's
Yeah,
not as
yeah.
though this is, coming out of your own minds. This is coming from Swami.
Yeah.
I remember when we first got 10 by 8, and he came in with these beautiful Kashmiri rugs. We had gone to Cochin, and he just filled the house with these beautiful rugs, and the Indian devotees at the time were like, you should be having straw mats. Why do you have these expensive carpets? And Swami just said, we are representing the masters, and we're Westerners. We don't do straw mats. We have an elevated sense of refinement. He didn't say it quite like that, but it's just part of who we are. He's never gone for the lowest denominator in India. He's always brought something very, very high.
and it helps people to break through that mentality that spiritually has to be poor. Or
Exactly.
spiritually has to be very austere. So what Master brought is such a revolutionary way of thinking and living spirituality that I think we have a role to play on that aspect too, and feel comfortable in the process, and of course not being too much, but You know, it's part of our mission, I think.
We also want to create a space, especially in a city like Mumbai. It should be, you enter into it, and it shouldn't be like I'm leaving one box which I call my house, and I'm just entering another box which is, you know, this place where I get these teachings from. But somehow we'd like for people to feel like they've stepped out of Mumbai, you know, they've entered a space where time doesn't exist right now, and it's just an astral space. Whether or not we physically find such a space, where we don't know yet, but we're just holding to the best of our ability. We're just holding that vision and hoping the masters, you know, think the same way we do.
And we are also aware that perhaps, I mean, the intuition is there, the guidance is there, has been already there for a few months, and we are, you know, pushing, trying to move forward, but we are also recognizing that perhaps it may not be the time, you know, given that space of, you know, timing, but that's definitely the direction and our next step here. There is no going backward. This is it. This is where we are heading.
So when you share this with people, or are you sharing this with? Yeah. Okay. So
Very much.
yeah, I figured.
What are they?
Yeah. What's the response?
What
you're
are they
getting?
responding with?
They feel it. They know what we're trying to manifest. You know, the funniest thing was when we first came up with this idea, which was what
Oh my God.
4 months ago now, you know, and
January, I think.
yeah, January, February, somewhere in there, and we just started. We said, okay, the second house we saw was this like
Mansion almost.
luxurious, with a swimming pool right on the beach, with a private access to the beach, and it was so expensive. But when we saw this place, we said,
This is it.
we're taking this place.
Oh wow.
There was no sense for it. But what we felt there, because it wasn't luxurious, it was just so
Uplifting.
open and so
Wow.
not Mumbai.
Uh,
When we went in there, we said, this is the feeling we want people to have. You know, because not everybody can recognize the power of the teachings as quickly as some of us can, or not everybody hungers for the teachings. In fact, many of our own devotees sometimes have to keep putting out, you know, that kind of will just to stay with it. I mean, even at our center, you've got a center, you're a Kriyaban, you're a disciple, but it doesn't mean you're rushing to the center every time. It doesn't mean that you really want to be in this vibration all the time. So we want to find a means where people feel like, I want to be in this vibration all the time. And it may not just be the teachings that are always, you know, the conscious part of it, but even if the surrounding can offer them that. So we just went in there, we said, this is the place, we should take this place.
oh.
People, some of them, I mean, they freak out.
Oh, I believe it. I believe it.
When we showed them the pictures after the satsang, we told them we had a very important things to discuss and a meeting. So anyway, we built up. A few people got like, whoa, like, how are we going to pull this off? And, you know, of course. But people got it.
Yeah,
People understood. We explained them where were we coming from, what happened to us also energetically when we went to that place, because we never thought going into that direction. In fact, we were thinking something more simple and more smaller, but it's almost like Swamiji wanted to bring us to that spot, so that
Just
will
to
be
expand our own
vision.
And so from what happened, of course, you know, we don't have that place. But what happened from there was that I think all the people suddenly opened themselves up to something that could be much better. Because when we were first going, we were going for, you know, what you would think should be readily available, just another box, a slightly bigger box than but, you know, more boxes, no thank you. But so it just helped us realize what we're looking for is something radically different from what we were before, and that
Well, it's probably really good that you broke the mold for people's minds. You know, they could expand.
Well-
And think about Swami. I mean, when he walked the land, at Ananda Village for the first time. He said, "This is it. I feel the masters." But the money part was extremely difficult for many years.
Yeah.
So it's that same thing.
Yeah.
So are you looking in Juhu? Are you looking in the area where you are?
Yeah.
Yeah, looking Bandra, Juhu mostly, we're open to essentially expanding beyond, but these are the places where there's more space, so there's a better chance for us to find something that we're looking for.
And the other thing we feel, Mumbai, like any other city, has a beach, has this ocean feeling. So it could make, you know, something that Ananda Mumbai has unique, which is a property in the ocean, in the
Yeah.
beach. So why not start thinking of those, you know, on those terms too? We should start, each city could have something unique. You
Yeah.
know, Pune for that, Delhi for that, you know, Mumbai for hermitage, not like Sri Yukteswar has in the seaside. Why not? So people can come also from other parts of the country, you know, from the US, from Europe, from other cities, and really feel like I'm going to a different place within
Yeah.
Ananda.
Yeah.
So that
Well, you should see if that property is still open.
We reached out to the owner. She lives in London. You know, we told
Oh.
her everything we want to do with the place, and I mean, we put out energy just to start feeling that, because you never know how inspiration is going to work and how the masters want to manifest
Yeah.
through us. So, what that moment helped us not close ourselves
That's
and
it.
just to even open ourselves much more, but at the same time, you know, we're practicals, you know,
Lockdown.
we know how things work. We're not cuckoo. So we're also very much planted firmly on the ground and looking for things
Yeah.
that are real.
And you know, we wanted for everyone to be part of this process and not
Right.
just us and leave all the responsibility on our shoulders, because what's the point to feel the inspiration if no one else is going to be part of it? So what we asked each one of them is go online and look for the kind of bungalows or ashram that you would like to live in, as if this
Oh,
was
good.
your house.
Wow.
And send us pictures so we can get an idea of what do you like and if it's in tune with everyone's vision. So we received so many pictures of
Wow.
bungalows.
Wow.
Made us feel we are united in the vision.
Oh, good.
In
Wow.
addition, we are now gathering, meeting once a week and do healing prayers just to, you know, materialize that place wherever that might be. And anyway, so it's becoming now a group effort.
Very
Good.
good. Very
It's a little
good.
hard given the situation
Yeah.
going out, and a lot
Yeah.
of these people don't necessarily want you coming into their home to check out the properties.
Oh, so is it, how many people would move in? I mean, at the supposing this beautiful house opened up, I mean, would 10 people move into it right away, or?
No, what our thought is, we were not quite sure in the beginning, but right now we're feeling the house would be maybe, apart from Narayani and me, just another room would be somebody else would be permanently moving in. But we want is to have at least 2-3 bedrooms available for everyone to come and spend 1 night, 2 nights. You know, start thinking of that ashram as their home away from their home. And rather than to fill all the rooms from the very beginning and then just kind of it becoming saturated with just us.
Yeah.
So the
yeah.
hope is now to keep it kind of open, so people just, I want to come and spend 1 night, I want to come and spend 2 nights, and they start to learn how to even just say, I want to stay there, then we'll have breakfast together and I'm going to go to work from here. Just to experience those little things, because to build community, as you know, we experience strongly in Pune, it's almost like we have to go a little stepwise and give them the way that they had the experience in Gurgaon. All those who had the Gurgaon experience, it's like they knew what that feels like. You know, they could jump into that flow easily. So similarly, it's like eventually we're going to need a real community in India. I mean, there's just no doubt in anybody's mind. But okay, let's go from a perspective that people start tasting it already. But if we close it, if we just get 3-4 people and then that's all we have, depending on how many rooms, we felt like maybe people won't get to experience that more dynamically. So that's where we are right now. These things keep changing.
When we shared all these things with our members, they were thrilled. They
Oh,
could
good.
see themselves leaving their families for 24 hours
Oh,
and spending a night with us, having a few hours in silence, being surrounded by Guru Bhais. I mean, people were really, really delighted with the idea. And
good.
everyone is on board. Everyone gets it. Another thing we are doing, can we change the subject?
yeah.
But just to close that subject off, I was thinking it's what you're envisioning, what you're describing is really a retreat setting. You're giving people a retreat experience, and that's the taste of community that people need.
And
So
if
go
they're part
ahead.
of the city,
Yeah.
without them having to
Move.
change too much in this moment, just experience a little, know what it could feel like, and then hopefully they themselves say, let's do it bigger, let's do it better.